Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome to those who listen for the first time. I welcome you as well. My name is Theo Roach. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, licensed in several states. In fact, if you would hit the subscribe button at the end of this video, so you can be notified of different information that's released and different things like that. But I'll be real brief. And I tried to print this out prior to releasing this information, but I was having printer problems. So I'm gonna have to read this information from my cell phone. In fact, I want to make sure that I get the reason why I'm reading this information is because I want to make sure I get it accurate, and I want to make sure I get you meaningful information. Again, this video is primarily for parents and athletes, parents of athletes in general, and also athletes itself. Not quite sure who's watching, who's tuning in, but definitely this information is for you. And so I think, it's critically important that, we, of course, know where we're going in terms of what we need to do in order to kind of, make our dreams come to fruition. Now, in light of that, I will say we are faced with some very challenging times. Something that's unprecedented, something we've never seen before. So you know, taking all that in consideration, I think it's still important to write down your goals, write down the things you hope to accomplish, and you need to know where you're going. It stood out to me as a former athlete myself. Um, I had a middle school coach tell me that it's critically important to know where you're going because if you don't know where you're going, how will you know when you get there? I mean, what would be some subtle signs that you've kind of accomplished your goals and you need to continue to challenge yourself? And I think that's really important. So, for those of you who are parents of athletes or athletes themselves, definitely you want to write those goals down because if you don't have that information written down, it's just like having a conversation and you can just kind of go aimlessly throughout life and not really knowing where you're going in life. So I think that's really important. Write those goals down. I had to have my Dunkin' Donuts, man, because that kind of get me going, if you will. That's my fuel. Like I said, I'm not an athlete at all anymore. I'm in the workforce now, so a drastic rude awakening, if you will. But again, I want to get this information to you guys because, again, I think it's critically important as it relates to our goal setting. And so this is coming directly from my iPhone, and we'll have some discussion about it, obviously. But the first thing I call this the 5C complex, and this is one of those things that I talk with my athletes about all the time. Those who I may have for clinical coaching or for, whether it be to improve that competitive edge, to get that competitive edge over the competition. And I call the one thing I share with my athletes is as follows. I refer to it as the 5C complex. You got to have that 5C complex. And I think that's critically important. The first C is so clear. Your goal has to be very clear. You have to be very specific in terms of what you hope and what you intend to accomplish. So that's the first C. The second C is concise. They have to be very specific, and we're going to get into our discussion at some point talking about SMART goal setting, what that word means, basically the acronym SMART. Because again, you have to be very concise in terms of where you hope it to be, and it has to be timely. By what time frame? By my junior year, I want to be this. I want to be running this. And so without having that specifics, you're not really, you're just kind of wasting your time, if you will. The third C is compelling. Your goals have to be very compelling. They have to be very compelling in terms of, you know, um, how does this appear? Is this really realistic? Not only to me, but also to my support system, my teammates. Oh man. And the fourth C is consistent. You have to be very consistent. Every day, every moment, you have to be doing something that help propel you towards whatever goal you're looking to accomplish. I think that's really important. So being consistent is key. You want to take consistent action every day towards whatever goal you're looking to accomplish. And the last C is committed. I can't stress this enough. It's the last C, but it's probably one of the most important ones. You have to be committed. There can be times, and definitely times like now, where your faith may be tested. You don't see how you're going to get that scholarship. You don't see how you're going to get the attention of that scout or that recruiter. Um, so you have to be very committed to the process of improving, becoming a better person. The philosophy, and the thing that we tell our athletes is that you have to be willing to better your best. That's critically important. You want to better your best because that's when you think you have got it. You need to push yourself just a step further. And before you know it, you'll be like, man, I didn't realize I could do all that. So you have to be committed to the process. You can't allow discouragement or outside influences really impact the way that you feel about the situation, if you're committed to it or not, to the process. So you have to be very committed to the process in terms of reaching your goals, man. Because again, how do you know when you get there? When you get there, if you don't know where you're going. So I'll leave you by saying that, regardless of how tough it gets, adversity, you want to be able to stand firm and stand steadfast in the face of adversity. There's no question we all are faced with adverse times now. Um, when I was an athlete, of course, I played one of the toughest positions you can play on the field. Um, and so when you made a mistake, everybody saw it. The hundreds of thousands of fans in the stand saw it. So you slipped and fell. Didn't really mean to, but you slipped and fell. You gave up a touchdown. And so, you have to have a certain mentality in order to do that. And so, I say to you, you got to, just like my coach would tell me, you got to be able to fight the fight, man. You can't allow adversity to get the best of you. Again, I want to say thank you guys. Definitely hit the subscribe button, so you'll be notified of different information as it's released. If you have personal questions, need to contact me directly, feel free to do so, whether it be via email, via phone call, whatever case may be. I can get a bit busy at times, so therefore I can be somewhat elusive, but at the same time, I respond to all phone calls and emails, and probably the email is probably the best way of contacting me. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I look forward to speaking with you guys soon. All right, have a good one.